Hello friends. Now let us take up JFT 1B program. Means in our Java fast track series, this is the second level in the first program. Actually, this program is not the extension of 1A program. This is a different version. In 1A program, what you did, we read the input data from the keyboard using scanner class object. We read the input values, 4 input values, room's name, length, breadth and height through keyboard using scanner class object. Actually in Java, this is not a regular way. In C, if you come from C, in C normally in most programs we input data from the keyboard. But as far as Java is concerned, we define constructor method. Constructor method is a standardized initialized method. So in this program, we initialize the 4 instance variables using constructor. Constructor means you can treat it as like a set data method. If you define, if constructors are not available, if constructors are not provided by Java, what should we do? We have to define a method named as setData. setData. Actually, instead of that, Java provides us a constructor method. Constructor, simply you call it a constructor. We don't call it a constructor method, but you can treat it as a constructor method. Constructor method is like a setData method for initializing instance variables. Okay, but there are few specialties of constructor method. What is that? Suppose if I define setData method, I may give setData, somebody may give getData, somebody give input data, somebody give taking data. Like that, various different names may be given. But as far as constructors are concerned, user programmer does not have any choice. He must use the constructor name as the class name, including case and spelling. Suppose, what is our class name? Room. So constructor name should be room. That's it. And you should not have any return type, including void. For every method, we write a return type, int, void, float, etc. and all that. But as far as the constructor is concerned, we don't write anything. And we should not write a return statement also, including a return semicolon. Means simple return also we don't write. We don't write return. We don't write 3 things you remember. At the end of this program, means in the concept zone, I will give a detailed explanation about the constructor. However, now you simply understand a brief explanation about that. Actually, constructor's name should be the class name including spelling. So here class name room. Now how we are writing? Room. So constructor name you must write like this only. Case also should not change. And number 2 is it does not have any return type. If you write any method, you write a return type. And for constructor sake, you should not write anything. Nothing is there. And within the body, you write, most cases you write return statement. And here for constructors, you should not write a return, including simple return also. This also should not write. So the 3 points you remember. Later in the concept zone, I will give you a detailed explanation about the constructor. You must have thorough knowledge about the constructor, because most Java programs, 95% of the Java programs use constructor only. Very rarely we read input from the keyboard using scanner class. That point you have to understand. However, you must know about each and every element. If it is used very rarely, even 0.01% scope is there also, you must learn it. You should not ignore any element. However, you come from the C family, if input is not read from the keyboard, you feel something is missing. That's why first I introduced that. Hereafter, for every program, use constructors only. That point you have to understand. One thing I am telling you, whenever you are studying any new element, what are the, just you make out your notes, you write your notes, you make your observations, you note down your doubts also regarding that. Your doubts are clarified. The doubts are meant for clarification only. And in this series of programs, through every level, you learn one or more new elements. Whatever new elements you are learning and all that, you thoroughly focus on that and write your notes. That is a very good habit. Because if you take this program, once you complete 1A program and come to 1P program, hardly you are learning 10 to 15%. Only constructor method. Remaining everything is same. So, remaining thing you write, don't copy and paste at this level. Don't copy and paste. That is not a good habit. That is the habit of professionals because they know everything. You are a beginner. How much practice you get, that much you can improve your programming skills. That's why even those are duplication also, same elements we are using also, you type all the elements, a type entire program. Okay, that is my advice. By that your sharpness, you can sharpen your programming skills. Now let's come to the program. And however, for the sake of integrity, everything I explain, but I explain briefly. Okay, first what we do, we define a blueprint class. In the blueprint class, we define 4 instance variables for room's name, room's length, breadth, and height. As far as room name is concerned, it's a string. That's why we are defining it as with a string name, that is room name. And one thing, for everything we have to give complete names. Few exceptions are there. That exceptions already I told you. There only you can use short names. And you just ignore your college habits and don't use short names in Java. Okay. Next one. This is the new thing I am introducing. That is the constructor. Constructor, just to focus on that. Room. Actually, I am not giving any set data or get data or input data like method names. I am not giving. Room. This is a constructor. Spelling, same case I used. Thereafter, which data items you have to initialize. One is room name, length, breadth, and height. You see the header. Whatever variables you are going to initialize, the same parameters you must write. You must write that a string, room name, int length, int breadth, and int height. Here you can use short names also. Actually, later we do that. Initially, I don't want to confuse you because you should identify what you are doing and all that. So we are initializing 4 instance variable. Their names only we are writing as a parameters. Okay, string, room name, int length, int breadth, and int height. After completion of this program, you can give short names also. Then it works. But only thing is, first you continue this like this only. Okay. Thereafter, within this, one new element is there. What is that? This I am using. This room name. Room name is room name. See, you have to understand this meaning. What is this? Actually, this constructor we are using for all objects of the room. We may not define only one object. We can define number of objects. In this case, we may define drawing room, we may define study room, we may define bedroom, we define kitchen room. Like the different types of objects we create. So, actually, every time here room name means whose name, which room's name, you get it out. If you write this, if you are dealing with a drawing room object, this represents a drawing room object. Suppose you are using this constructor for study room, this represents study room. If you are using this one for kitchen room, then this represents kitchen room object. That's why in this way, every time we need not change, we use this.